the layout of the contents, and we take the book to the printers for printing. Once the book is printed, we bring it back to the author, and of course in our case we are even helping the author's promotions and the first marketing strategies by doing a book launch where people can come and see that you have written a book.
And coming to the issue of book writing, you realize that a lot of people have written books, but it is very difficult for them to find a publisher, because many publishers will tell you, we can only publish your book if it's an educational book. Now, what type of manuscripts are you receiving as a publisher?
Our publishing house is actually out of our missions outreach under the ministry that I founded, Setorio Vision Ministries. Setorio means salvation, it's a Greek word. So we are actually reaching out by helping other people to write books, because the Bible tells us that we have to preach the gospel to the outermost part. And how can we do that? It's when we do books, because most of the times we might not maybe have the ability to reach the outermost, remotest part of Zambia. But if somebody bought a book in Lusaka and took 100 copies in Kasempa, they will be able to read about, even the gospel. The books that we're actually accepting are motivational books that deal with the day-to-day solutions, how people can actually get solutions. And the other type of books that we're doing are spiritual books, where, people write books according to the revelation. And then, of course, we are taking educational books. I have about 3 authors now that have written educational books. The one is in geography questions and answers. The other one is automotive electrical, a career guidance by Isaac Malenga. And I've also received another one that will really motivate people in English. And those are the materials that we're actually accepting. We're not accepting materials that will affect society, materials that will maybe discriminate. We are encouraging people to write books that will motivate people to develop our nation, to develop our society, and to fear God.
Lovely. And what is your view on the reading and writing culture in Zambia?
I think the past decade, it was really going down. Very few authors were on the scene. You would read of, maybe the Mwanakatwes and the Mwangas. But, the past, I think, 3 years or so, we have seen authors emerge. And it's really encouraging. And now that we have realized that we need to revamp this writing and reading culture even more, that's why we have this first ever Zambian Authors Book Launch, which will be held on Friday, the 18th of June. And then, because so many people have submitted their work, which is almost ready, we are going to have another book launch in August, just to motivate people into the reading and developing the writing culture.
And are there any sponsors for the authors or for your publishing project?
I think at the moment our ministry has been helping in sponsoring, like the first authors that we took up, the 10 authors, we sponsored their prints, their first prints, and we published the books. But for the others that are coming now, because printing is quite expensive, we are actually asking for those companies, NGOs, even government, if they can come in and help these authors to get their books printed and published. We are really asking that, sponsors come out there. If you feel that you can help somebody, please just contact us, and we'll really appreciate.
Okay, and how can they contact you?
They can call me on 097 435 9322, 097 435 9322, or they can send us an email. It's emcemagazine@gmail.com, emcemagazine@gmail.com.
And do you have a website?
Yes, we do. They can just go to www.elijahmiti.co.za.
www.elijahmiti.co.za.
And another one is www.svmi.co.za. www.svmi.co.za.
Now, Pastor Elijah Miti, you have been in the country for almost a week now, and you have been in the media attending interviews here and there. How has been the response both in rural and the urban areas?
I think the response has been very good. I've just realized that there are a lot of people that have written books, some 7, some 8 books, and they have just piled the books at home. Some still even have the books on the floppy disks. You remember the floppy disk?
Yeah.
Yes. And it's very encouraging to note that now they have realized that, if there is a door that has been opened, let me take the opportunity and, get my books published. We've been receiving SMSs, phone calls from as far as Luansha, We have been receiving calls from Mazabuka. We have been receiving calls even from out of the country, those that tune in to ZNBC. And it's very encouraging to note that people have now realized that, I can finally have my book on the shelves.
Okay, and then you find that there are those people who are too busy to write. What word of advice would you have? Maybe government leaders who are ever traveling out, back and things like that. They're ever on the move.
I think that's the best time to write, because writing is more on research. Or you write what you see and you write what you feel. And for instance, if you are on a plane, that takes 20 hours. I'm sure you can use about 5 hours writing and just meditating. I remember at one time I was flying to South Africa, and an idea came at 48 feet. In fact, I was supposed to entitle my book Revelation at 48 feet, but I entitled it Enlarge Your Vision, because I was in the clouds and ideas started coming. I started writing them down on a piece of paper, and when I landed, I started writing a book. So in your busy schedule, that's where you can even find time to write your thoughts down. What is important is writing down your thoughts, because a book will mature when it comes from the inside of you, when it comes within you. Then it will help somebody out there.
At this point in time, we would like to break for a piece of music by Mama Nyongo, the mother to Pastor Elijah Miti. In case you've just tuned in, you are listening to Zambia Today radio program, and I am your host, and I am your presenter, Aaron Kamanga. With me on the program tonight is Pastor Elijah Miti, who is a publisher, author, motivational speaker, entrepreneur, and the list goes on and on. Pastor Elijah Miti, do you see any development in the reading and writing culture in Zambia?
Yes, I think I've seen that there's been a great improvement the past years, and we are heading towards a very, positive direction. Many people are writing books on motivation. People are writing books on faith. People are writing books on, educational projects. People are writing books on, alleviating certain things that discriminate. People are writing books on child labor, abuse, human trafficking, and that is what will actually